Ever feel like your team is working all day but nothing really gets done? You might be losing more than you think to switching costs. And I will give you 3 actionable ideas you can implement today in your team. But what are switching costs? Switching costs are happening every time we are taking on a new task because our brain needs time to refocus, to calibrate, and to get back into flow. And that's where we're losing precious time and energy. Stanford research actually shows that people who are doing multitasking are more effective, but actually perform worse in memory, focus, and task switching. And that's the thing, because there is no multitasking, it's only task switching. Our brain is just not capable of doing this, so we are switching all the time. Gerald Weinberg's work in quality software management puts it this way: our brain has limits, and task switching is a tax on attention. But what does that mean for your team? So let's jump into some numbers. And there was a study done by Atlassian who said an average employee has 56 interruptions per day. And after 3 minutes, they are switching tasks. And they also said they take 2 hours every day to recover from those distractions and getting back into flow. And according to Gerald Weinberg's study in quality software management, he says if you're focusing on one project, of course you have 100% focus and availability for this project and there is no context switching. But when you have already 2 projects running parallel, then you can only focus 40% on each project and 20% are already switching costs, and it gets worse from there. So just imagine your team has 3 projects running in parallel and they are doing context switching all the time between the different priorities. And then we see that each project only gets a focus of 20% and the switching costs are already 40%. And often I come into companies and they have IT departments where they are running 40 projects in parallel with 20 people. So in average, every employee has 2 projects running for themselves. But then they need maybe support because they face a problem which they cannot solve for themselves. So they go to a colleague and ask them. But then this colleague has to switch into another project. So being around 3 projects in parallel is probably more the standard. And Weinberg's study goes up to 5 projects in parallel. And here it's really, really bad because then your focus on each project is only 5% and 75% are lost due to switching costs. So now we know that this is really painful for your team, and what can we now do to limit the switching costs? And I brought you 3 actionable ideas you can immediately implement. So let's jump into them. First, batch your work. So have a blocker for your work. For instance, when you do the emailing, when do you do admin work? When are you doing the creative work? Block it so you can have this focused, uninterrupted time. Second, introduce silent hours. For instance, every day after lunch, 1 hour, you have time to focus on the tasks at hand and you will not get interrupted. And third, limit the work in process, because then you have more focus and you can create the value faster for that small project because it gets finished and then the value can already be generated. Instead of switching between 10 different projects and none of them get really finished and creating the value the organization is waiting for. And a bonus tip, start team rituals like Focus Friday or no meeting mornings. Or I'm just coaching an IT team and they said, yes, we're going to have meetings from Monday to Wednesday, but Thursday and Friday are basically meeting free, so we can focus on our work at hand. So make it for the whole team a ritual to increase those times, because we are knowledge workers, so we need the time blocked where we can create the value. And if you like those 3 tips, you will love this video where I talk about 12 strategies how you can create a high performance team. And now I wish you an enjoyable and productive time. And always remember, you're awesome.